Hey, welcome to another episode of Idiocracy Talk Radio. I'm Dr. B. We got Matt, and we got the guy that changes his name like everybody else changes their underwear at least once a day, Josh, with his random name of the day. Today we're going to be talking about multiple things from Carmelo Anthony trial, Austin Metcalf situation, UFC 250 on the lawn of the White House, and why that's hilarious. Comments made during the fights. Apparently, the Knicks won some kind of sporting event. We'll talk more about that. Not sure what they won. I don't want to watch that sport. And then we're also going to talk about Iran. Many more on this episode of Idiocracy Talk Radio.
It's idiocracy, but you gon' see the value and respect though when you talk with me. So come on, baby, walk with me. It ain't a topic that the crew can't touch. Share our views and our vibe. What we hide? It ain't much. This ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Share our thoughts and our views, you can't stop it. Said this ain't bluffs, it's the crew, yeah, we got it. Idiocracy, tell us what's the topic. Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Idiocracy Talk Radio. I am Dr. B. We got Matt. And like I said, we've got Josh, the guy that changed his name like everybody else changes their underwear at least once a day. Let's start off with the older news, the bigger news. About 1 year ago, if you haven't been watching the news or you've been under a rock, you didn't know that report came out that in Texas, a young 7-year-old male stabbed another young man at a high school track meet. And depending on who you listen to or what you listen to, the stories were greatly different. And of course, one thing that was consistent on at least one side was that the individual was justified because of the color of his skin. Anyway, Josh, this is your topic. You want to talk about this one?
This is Matt's topic.
Oh, is this
Matt's topic? This is Matt's topic.
Go ahead, Matt.
So let's start off.
Hold on. Before you start, Matt, please. I need some more energy. I there's not a lot of energy tonight. There's a lot of on another episode. Idiocracy Talk Radio. Energy up.
Hopefully we get sponsored by Busch Light Lime. You know, the citrus summer drink for us gets us energized here, pumped up, and also Skyline time, whatever.
We got to support Skyline Chili because there was local news. Some guy stabbed a worker and killed her. So,
okay, that's fine.
Speaking of stabbing, go ahead, Matt.
I'll just stab away, right? That's the topic.
Cut it deep.
So let's start off with what's that?
You like my segue to that one? Stabbing, good news.
So let's, like you said, it's been a year for this court situation with Carmelo Anthony in Texas. So supposedly a year ago, he fucking showed up at a track meet, you know, and it started raining. He went under a tent where he wasn't invited at and started a little, I guess you get a situation where, you know, the people under the tent didn't want him there because he wasn't part of their school or their class. So they asked him to leave. He wouldn't leave by saying, hey, make me. They're like saying, what else will he make you? He's like, find out, something basically. And one of the guys ended up, I guess, trying to get him out of there. He ended up stabbing the guy in the chest with a knife. Then ran from the situation. So about a year later, he is 18 years old, charges of adult. Now the court comes out and stuff like that. So he was found guilty of stabbing a kid, and his prosecutors wanted self-defense. Well, you bring a knife to an event where you're not supposed to be having a knife at an event. So that's kind of weary right here itself. There was no debacle to they were pushing self-defense, the prosecution was, and at this point there was no debacle too much where physical violence was involved to have self-defense. So the guy ended up stabbing one of the twin brothers to death in the chest. And like I said, he ran from it and stuff like that, and said he was scared for his life. Once again, there were no really significant injuries to him whatsoever, or he feared for his life, but he wants to claim self-defense. So let's just say let's proceed to a year later. So now he's in court. He's found guilty of the whole situation. There was 14 witnesses that went against him and stuff like that. And like I said, the whole situation is just all fucked up. You know, you got a young teenage black kid, 35 years in jail, and you got a young white male who got stabbed to death and his parents lost their son. And it's all fucked up. How this shit happens, it's just, I don't know. Why do you bring a fucking knife to an event? I get if you want to take coverage under someone's tent because it was raining, it feels like a severe thunderstorm or something like that. But at the same time, it was not that bad of rain. You brought a knife to an event, so you're like you're bringing weapons to an event for what reason? Protection. Why are you bringing? You've never had any issues with the law before, but yet you're bringing a knife to a high school event. But again, I don't know the whole circumstances why he brought that, but the reason he brought it was, I guess, for stuff. Go ahead.
Well, here, Matt, I'll kind of add some light to this. So, first of all, one of the things that people were trying to defend is that the knife that Carmelo Anthony had was only 3.5 inches or something like that, which, according to Texas law, is not an illegal weapon. They said, oh, it was just school policy that you couldn't have a weapon on. That has no bearing whatsoever on the fact that he had a fucking knife. I brought up the picture here that shows where the tents were. You can see they're spread out. You can see there's plenty of fucking seating there. Okay. Now, what didn't come out initially, that came out later, of course, because, you know, again, we've talked about this before, these fucking news agencies and, of course, the social media experts, as we would like to call them, come out and they start saying, well, this, that, and this. And it's like, well, here's the thing that didn't come out. Was that Carmelo Anthony didn't sit with his team because he wasn't supposed to be there. They would have told him to leave. So
why was he told to leave? Do we know that?
No, he would have been told to leave because he wasn't supposed to be there with his team because he wasn't, I don't know if he was like suspended or he was in trouble or what, but he wasn't supposed to be at that track meet with his team.
That's new evidence brought to my fucking mind right now.
So
I never heard anything about this. I just know he was on the track team. That's all I heard.
He was on the track team, but he wasn't allowed to be at that track meet. That's why he wasn't sitting with his team. So that's problem number one. You're not supposed to be there. Why the fuck are you there? Okay. Then on top of it, you bring a knife with you in a backpack and you go and decide to sit into another team's tent. Like you said, Matt, doesn't matter if it's raining or not. Like, here's the thing. If it was lightning and it was severe weather, the track meet would have been stopped and all the people would have been asked to leave. If it was a light rain or a slight rain, no lightning or anything, guess what? Track meet continues. Track meet was still continuing, so that tells us it wasn't severe weather. So Carmelo's excuse about, oh, well, I was trying to get out from under the weather. Guess what, motherfucker? You can sit anywhere. Okay?
Yeah, because you weren't invited by your team.
One of my biggest fucking problems with this is take race out of it, okay? You have a 17-year-old young man that stabs another 17-year-old young man, keeping in mind that it was a little bitty knife. It wasn't a giant fucking Bowie knife or anything like that. So the amount of force that this guy had to use to not only penetrate through the bone to the heart, but also for the actual knife to chip off in the bone behind the heart had to be fucking intense for him to do that. And it's not like he did multiple. He just did one good one. Okay. Now, again, let's go back to the circumstance. Okay. So what came out from the trial was that Carmelo Anthony sat in the tent. He was asked by multiple people, not 2, not 3, 4 to 5 people asked him to leave because this was their team tent and he needs to go sit with his team or sit somewhere else. Okay. The funny thing is people want to go, oh, well, you can't tell a black kid where to sit. Guess what? Again, take race out of it. You have no business sitting in the middle of another team's sitting area. Okay.
Yeah, that has nothing. The race has nothing to do with it. I mean, you're not sitting in your school.
Trying to make it all about the race. Oh, well, how dare a white kid tell a black kid to blah blah? Fuck that. Okay. Fuck all that bullshit. Fuck all the noise. Let's just go with the fact that you have 2 young men. One is not where he's supposed to be. He has a weapon that he shouldn't have. He's in a track meet that he's not supposed to be at. He's asked to leave multiple times. He refuses to leave. So guess what? Your self-defense goes out the window because a part of self-defense is you have no way to leave. You chose not to leave, so guess what? Your self-defense goes out the window. Then, on top of that, then he says, I guess, kids are kids. Hands get put on. No punches or anything because there was no bruises or anything like that. No photographs of bruising or anything like that. Someone pushes him or something, or I don't know if they were getting ready to put their hands on, but Carmelo Anthony sticks his hand in his bag and says, touch me and find out what happened, or see what happens. At that point, Austin Metcalf puts his hand on his shoulder. He could have been pushing really hard. It doesn't matter. Guess what? You don't get to use a knife with a push. Even if the weapon was legally in your possession, you don't get to use it when force does not equal force. So Austin Metcalf puts his hand on Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony pulls out the knife and stabs him right in the fucking heart, killing him.
Instantly.
I mean, within seconds, because his last words were, I've been stabbed. And then he died in his brother's arms. Carmelo Anthony then decides to leave. And then as he's walking away, the police stop him, and the officer goes, I've got the alleged perpetrator. And he goes, alleged nothing. I did it. So then fast forward, we go through all this bullshit. Again, everyone wants to make it about race, okay? Carmelo Anthony's family starts a GoFundMe. Raises over $600,000.
Hold on. Let's pause that for a second. Let's talk about the trial a little bit.
Well, hold on. We got to get to the trial. They raised $600,000 that was supposed to be for his defense. Instead, they used it to buy a new Escalade and to buy a new home in a white neighborhood.
So hold on. Let's rewind it a little bit. You're correct. 2 Escalades. They were paying rent on a gated house in a white neighborhood.
Oh, I'm sorry, but they used the $600,000 for everything but his defense, because then they had the nerve to go back to the judge and say, Your Honor, we don't have the funds for an attorney.
No. That's why I said. That's why I said pause that.
No,
let's go back.
We need a court-appointed attorney. So then they get one. Now we have the trial.
Okay. So now we have the trial, and so let's just start with, first of all, the jury. So you got all these black people coming out saying, "Oh, there's no black people on the jury. There's no black people on the jury. It's all white people. It's all Actually, there wasn't. There was 3 Asians and a Muslim on there too, just as well. But I guess if you're not black, you're white and you're just racist. Period. Don't matter what. If you're not with them, you're against them. Period.
So while you're speaking the jury, what happens? What's part of the process?
Well, and I was going to say, the funny thing is the part of the process is that both the prosecuting and the defense attorneys get so many strikes to get rid of or agree upon jurors. So
Correct. They went through 600 people to get these 12 jurors.
yeah, and
So
and they agreed upon it.
figure it out.
And I'm sure there was in that 600 people there were black people in that.
Oh, I guarantee. But here's the thing: like, I know for a fact that I think one juror that got excluded was because when they asked her if she could be fair and unbiased, she straight up said no.
Well, there was three black teachers that said they could not send, they would never send a black young male to jail for life.
Right. Which, guess what? Pretty sad that your whole reason for not sending somebody to jail is the skin color, not whether they're guilty or not.
And here's the thing.
Hey
too.
Joe, go back to our screen, Joe. Get rid of this.
Hold on. What's one thing in Texas that can happen if you're convicted of first-degree murder?
The one thing that DeWine's trying to get rid of here, the death penalty.
The death penalty.
Definitely.
So he is kind of lucky that they didn't give him that charge to where they could have put him to death.
Oh no,
For the
they
murder.
gave him murder one.
But they didn't give him the death penalty, which
No,
they
they
could.
didn't. They gave him 35 years, which, to be honest with you,
with the
is
possibility
going
of
lenient on
parole,
it.
with the possibility of parole after I think 20 years, maybe it might be less than that.
I think it's actually.
Well, you got to look at it also too. If he, I just said it. He serves half the time.
Good citizen.
You know, and then what's funny is all this trial goes through, and then after the fact, then people want to say, oh, well, they couldn't afford an attorney. It's not fair. They didn't get a good attorney. Well, that's because the family squandered the money on other things, not because they didn't have the money.
Well, they didn't have a good fucking defense at all whatsoever. Even if he fucking had the money for it,
Look, you could have had fucking Al Sharpton fucking running and you would have still lost it because he was guilty as fuck.
that was a military judge who knows the difference between right and wrong and what was the legit situation.
Well, but it's not the judge that
That's what it was.
decides if he's guilty or not. It was the jury. He just dishes
Correct,
out.
but exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. So he gets a sentence. So now that we go back to sentencing day, let's go back to that. How pathetic this shit is. Mom and dad don't even show up for sentencing.
Yeah, talk about not being with your son.
Don't give a fuck. They use it for propaganda, for the money, to raise a fucking GoFundMe fund for them, so they live better and live
That's all it
large.
was a money ticket.
So let's go back to what you're saying. They couldn't get a good defense attorney because of the money situation. Let's move forward after this. So what can you do after you're found guilty? What's the process after that? What can you do?
To file an appeal.
Appeal.
But guess what? They don't have the fucking money to file an appeal.
You don't need the money to file an appeal. You
You
can
already
file
filed
an
the
appeal.
appeal.
But you gotta have the money to fucking move on with the lawyer and shit like that too, though.
Not if it's
They don't have the money.
court-appointed attorney.
Well, they already had like 75. One person donated like $75,000.
Okay, but a whole community or a bunch of people donated $600,000. You saw where that went. I will guarantee you right now that any money that's donated to that family for him to get a defense for his appeal, he won't see a dime of that money. Guaranteed. They will fucking spend that money on anything and everything but. And the funny thing is, it's not going to change anything. Literally guilty as fuck. I mean, this could not be a simpler case of guilty.
It has nothing to do with race either.
Well,
They
and
wanna
that's
make
the
it-
one thing. The one thing I did like about Carmelo Anthony's family, they did come out and say this was not about race. This whole thing is not about
No,
race.
Carmelo Anthony's family didn't say that.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. Austin Metcalf's family came out and said that.
No, I heard Carmelo
Anthony's family was calling racist from the beginning.
No, after a while, they said no. This isn't about race.
Yeah. I think that's two different stories right here, buddy. I think I've heard her family call it racist since day one, and all the supporters. So I don't think they had a Black Panthers
let's see
involvement.
here.
So figure that out.
Let's see. Carmelo Anthony's family says that this was racially charged. Carmelo's father comes out and says that it was his son had no, I'm sorry, Metcalf's father says his son had no racial motivation.
This was at the beginning. I think during the trial they came out.
Anthony's grandmother said it's racist and biased. The whole family, the Anthony family said it was all about race. They were a fucking race baiting fucks.
So are they saying it's racist based off the conviction?
They're
or the whole
trying to call
situation?
racism for every fucking thing they can. They're saying it was racism even that their son got arrested. It's like you fucking stabbed somebody. What the fuck you think's gonna happen? Or it was racism that he got asked to move from out of another team's tent. Everything's got to be about fucking race. But again, make sure we're specific. Anthony's family, all about race. Metcalf's family, they did not want this to be about race. This is not a racial issue. Him being asked to leave the tent was not a racial issue.
I'm like,
That's the difference.
I know. Nothing. Is there anything on there? Well, no, there is. There's signs.
Again, we've got, unfortunately, because of people raising their children to be fucking idiots, you have two lives that are ruined. One that's gone, and one that's going to be in jail for at least 17 years.
This could be a correct.
And did you guys start to see what's going on too now? The new trend is there's black people going up to white people and
Punch in the face. Slap
You were on the jury. You were on the jury for that trial when you had nothing to do with it. All because your skin color is white.
Right, because again, we have this standard in the United States that everyone can be, the only people that are supposedly racist are white people. And I got bad fucking news.
Anything for your reference? I got this just for you.
What a pregnancy test? So I was like, what is this? I'm trying to figure out the same thing.
But not only that, you also have the trends now is that black people are calling for protesting or let's see,
It's just
boycotting Asian and white stores.
Thanks, Josh.
Matt,
Always wonderful.
Matt,
you
mute your unless you're talking.
What's that?
Mute your mic for while you're
It's a perfect marker that has an exact
background.
I'm talking through my headphones, so I have no idea.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but you can
he's saying
hear
we're picking up
everything in
all
the background, like your wife and all them talking.
So anyway,
Is it better now?
the biggest thing with this whole incident is that people need to start taking the race out of it. And unfortunately, it goes both ways. You have situations where, guess what, race had nothing to do with it, but then at the same time, you have organizations that are going after people specifically because they're not black. If you were black, you wouldn't have any consequences. But if you're white, guess what? You get or they try to come at you. And that's the sickening part of this world right now is, we want equal, but equal means I want better treatment than everybody else.
They want better treatment. That's what it was.
That's not equal. equal is everything's equal. You have just as much chance of opportunity as I do. If you work hard, you have a chance to improve your life. Doesn't mean you're going to improve your life. It means you get a chance. So,
All right, moving on. Let's go move to what? This right here. What state is this? Oh, it's Virginia. What happened in Virginia?
I don't know what happened in Virginia.
What district is in Virginia? The District of Columbia, where
It's not in Virginia.
Washington D.C.
It's in Maryland, dude.
It's around there. It's actually borders Maryland and Virginia because it's its own little district. But anyway, the White House for UFC Freedom 250.
Now, did you guys watch it, or did you
No,
just
I
guys
didn't
hear
fucking
it?
watch it. Like, I care less.
I watched the first 6 fights, not the 7th one.
I
Yes, I was like,
didn't watch it, but it definitely made headlines, not only because, God forbid, President Trump pulled something on the White House. However, I will say,
But before, if you're gonna pull up the video, before we get to that video, let's just go over like what was the whole event about and everything like that, right? Yes, we know it was President Trump's birthday on Sunday, so they had this big UFC barbaric fight lined up for the UFC to go. So you had a bunch of Democrats bitching and complaining about that. It's barbaric. This is exactly what the Roman Times did in front of their leader. They had people go out and kill each other and blood spill, blah blah blah. No, the UFC is not all about. Yes, it is gladiators. They are out there fighting, showcasing their talent and all that stuff. The event highlighted America. If you start watching the video packages, the people that were celebrated there, it was Marines, Air Force veterans, the 100
First responders.
Medal of Honor recipient. They had people. One of the military's band orchestra, right? They had members of that.
yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a pretty cool thing to do because we probably never see that in our lives again, right? Who's gonna have an
Never.
event on the White House lawn? Like it's
Well-
fucking amazing. The
well, I
views
don't
of the
know.
White House.
We might have it again because who knows, Josh?
Interaccuracy Talk Radio. Let's go.
We might have President Comanche Mancho go, and then, of course, you got the White House with the pool and everything else on there.
Yep, that's true. But I mean, just somebody that's never seen that much of the White House, right? Besides on TV, you see replicas of what, but you never see what's actually in the White House unless you go visit. It was just really cool to see these fighters walking down different parts of the White House, walking through it, the doors opening, walking by the soldiers, holding the flags, the military planes flying over Washington D.C. I mean, it was a spectacle. I mean, I thought it was really, really well done. Them going back, I had no idea about Francis Key when he all the things specifics that how he wrote the song Star Spangled Banner. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just know he wrote it. They
You
actually
know that he was sitting on a ship watching.
yeah, he was on the ship looking through it, and that's where a lot of his words came from. And I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the inspiration from it. So, so that was pretty cool. As far as the fights, every fight on that card ended with like almost a knockout or a submission. So the fights were pretty damn good for the most part. Couple big knockouts. The main event where Justin Gaeth, I mean, that was a fucking battle. That dude's face, the champion, after the fight, freaking both eyes just completely black, almost shut. They had to call a fight after that round, the fourth round. Fucking great fight. I'm surprised he won. I mean, because he hit that guy so hard in the liver, and it dropped him. I was like, oh shit, that's it. This guy, the champ is going to retain. And third round, completely different fight again. I'm like, holy shit, this was one fucking hell of a fight.
Yeah, it's the one fight that I honestly regret not seeing. But
Well, and then all of this gets overshadowed, of course.
Correct. And let me preface it before we go to that guy. So a couple of weeks ago, I was at my boss's house. He had me and my other co-worker at his house grill some burgers when we watched this guy fight. And I thought this guy was absolute fucking trash. He was very disrespectful, flicking his opponent off. I wanted Curtis Blades to knock this motherfucker out. Like, that's how much this guy got under my skin during that fight. And I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Exciting fighter? Absolutely. Comes with the fucking haymakers? Absolutely. Dude's tough as fucking
Playing
nails.
for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Playing for the 49ers. Yep. So this guy, his name is Josh Hotkit. Fucking dude's got talent. Dude can fucking fight. So he has a persona. He's a villain persona.
I was to say he definitely believes in the old saying, any publicity is good publicity.
And you know, and to that point, it's almost like he's doing it for his brand. Right?
Well, and you know, it's funny.
He's showing these antics so people can say his name. Now he's being talked about.
Right.
He wasn't being talked about 64 days ago when he was in the other fight.
I was to say nobody knew his fucking name. Now everybody knows his name.
Everybody knows his name. So Joe,
well, he also walks the walk and talks the talk.
Absolutely. So this completely overshadowed the whole UFC pay-per-view after it.
So I guess
You gotta turn
he
it
told me that pinhole leak in a pipe that goes through their garage ceiling, apparently. And the whole left side of the garage ceiling fell.
It fucked up the whole like carpet.
Joe, I can't hear it.
Well, me.
You guys hear that? Okay.
No, I can't hear you.
Nope.
If it's fucking wide up above it and below,
They
then
got- Well, yeah, see, that doesn't happen just unless it's like push.
random. Oh, the pinhole only goes one direction.
Right.
So if it's going down, I get it. But if it's fucking up there shit above it, like,
It's gotta be.
that's a leak. That's
Yeah.
not a pinhole.
So it's like on there.
Just over time, over years.
No, but a pinhole
But a
only goes
pinhole
one way.
only goes one way.
It's a
Nothing straight
pinhole.
up.
Take it straight out. That's the fucking way the pipe runs.
If you put a whole hole underneath, like if the pipe's going up and down, you just put a
Still
little
can't hear
prick.
Jojo.
It just leaks. It's a slow leak. That's all it was.
Right, but it can't go up and down at the same time.
No, it wasn't in a ceiling sandwich. It was in the fucking garage. They're not garage. It's on the second floor in this room.
But yeah, so I mean, he made the comment. Of course, you know, I mean, people were shocked that he said it, and you know, and I think that was the big intent. Like, whether he actually believes it or not, I think the intent was, like you said, Josh, to get his name out there, and he succeeded in that. I mean, hell, even the fucking View was talking about him. Like,
Yeah, I did it. Whatever you played did not come over. So
oh, fucking turn it on.
I'll see if I can pull it up.
I tried multiple times. Couldn't tell.
Yeah, I know.
Came through or
But
not.
anyway, pretty much what he said. He was talking about another fighter's mom, and then he wanted to end. He's like, I'm gonna end it with this. Michelle Obama is a man.
So if you can you hear this?
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Some in the crowd could be heard laughing.
So
That time, yes.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, he said it. And here's the funny thing is, like, they're talking about, like, they're putting on a lawsuit for defamation. It's like, I don't think you can win a suit for defamation because you're destroying her character. You're not saying she did anything. Because here's the thing: if Michelle Obama wins a defamation suit for him saying that, then President Trump can literally sue every fucking woman on The View.
Yeah.
Every single one. Because they don't call him a woman. No, they call him a pedophile. They call him a criminal.
A Nazi.
A Nazi. Like, actual words that are defamation. Destruction of character. Saying somebody's a fucking man, like, guess what? We live in 2026. Hell, there's people that wish people would call them a man.
So here's the funny thing. So if they do it as defamation, will they have to have her prove that she's a woman? Hey, we want the medical record. You're going to sue us. Okay, go ahead and sue us. Because we're going to document all your medical records.
Yeah,
to prove that you're not a man.
So, Josh, what's the one thing go to court that's proven that if there's a court case, what's showing to the world?
Evidence.
No, well, that and what else?
Well,
Records.
records.
So whatever happens in court is this will to the whole world.
Yep.
So let's see those test results.
It's just funny how, like, so not only talking about the White House and stuff like that while we're talking about this. So it just came out actually today that the White House has announced that they are moving the special education and the civil rights sections of the Department of Education out of there and moving them to different departments. People are on uproar like, oh my God, they're taking away kids' rights that have special needs. It's actually not the case. Like, what's funny is, I guarantee you, if you were to put any other president behind this and said they were doing this, every fucking liberal would be behind it. But because Trump is attached to it, they're like, this is the worst thing ever.
It's not like you used to be, right? Like you used to be, you could have a conversation with somebody. Like, okay, I agree.
That's because Trump's behind it, and everybody's against it, and they just want to bitch about something. That's all they're going to do.
Yeah, I thought it was cool on the phone.
Josh, I'm a little concerned. Is Paige okay? Because she was as white as Bandit.
Yeah, she just dyed her hair. Tried to do it blue, and it looks green.
Oh, I was looking at it,
She
like
got
her
dyed
face
everywhere.
looked really white like Bandit's. I was like,
They never did.
yeah.
Usually, like, beauty, whatever, like, it wasn't. Now.
All right. So continue on UFC. Let's go to the Knicks. What happened with the Knicks there, Josh?
Now I know.
So, the Knickerbockers, the New York Knicks, Stephen A. Smith's New York Knicks. Right? So let's just go back. Let's follow this back in April, I think. There was a WWE character named Danhausen who put a curse on the Knicks. And when he did that, guess what happened? They lost the next 2 games. Then Danhausen removed the curse, and the Knicks went on an incredible playoff run. I think they only lost 1 game after that. That was in the finals. Destroyed some teams, played really good basketball, won the NBA championship for the first time in 53 years. They had the largest comeback in NBA Finals history as well in Game 4. Game 5.
They're opposite.
Game 4. I think it was 29 points. No teams ever come back from 29 points to win a game in the NBA Finals. Great series. I think the Spurs kind of gave it away. Hey, the game one, there was a mess up on the Spurs that made them lose the game. Same thing with game two. The Spurs won game three. The Spurs were up 29 points in game four and lost. They're up 15 points in game five, almost coming into the fourth quarter. Ended up losing that game. So all credit to the New York Knicks for prevailing. I can't even fucking know. I don't even know the word. But the series is a very good series, very close series. Even though they won 3-1, all the games were pretty much close. Congrats to the New York Knicks for finally winning the championship in 53 years. But what overshadows the New York Knicks whole debacle is when I was watching with my brother up in Indy on Saturday. And the question, I was like, look, if the Knicks win, is New York going to get trashed tonight? If the Knicks lose the series, is New York going to get trashed after that? It's pretty bad that we have to ask these questions. New York being trashed and burned down, all because of what happened in Game 3 in New York at the end of the game when the San Antonio Spurs won. There was a shit ton of chaos. Fans were beat up if they were wearing Spurs jerseys. Absolutely made it fucking terrible as a fan to kind of watch this unfold. It makes you scared to go into different cities to actually watch a game and enjoy yourself, right? Let's go for us. We're Bengals fans. Could I go to Cleveland and watch a game? And yeah, I might be harassed, but I'm not afraid of getting hurt or losing my life. If I go to Pittsburgh, same thing. I go to Baltimore. Baltimore's a little different story because it is in a bad neighborhood, but I still think I'd be able to survive. Philadelphia's fucking worst fan base. I don't know. That one's tough. I mean, you're probably going to get beat up and hurt, especially if your team wins and you got their jersey on. That's not how fans should act. Fans should act with respect. No matter what team you cheer for, you should have respect for the other person. Now, yes, is there going to be some shit talking back and forth? Absolutely. But you got to learn it's a give and take, right? If you can give it, you got to be able to take it and not take offense to it. And I think some sports fans take it too far. You can ridicule a fan and harass them a little bit, but nothing's malicious. And I would expect the same thing from them.
So again, before you start your statement, you should realize what kind of state is New York.
I don't know.
It's a blue state. So they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want to, whenever they want to, and all that shit.
And I will preemptively tell you. So I just spent an entire week in New York. Okay, in the state, not the city, because I will not fucking go into the city. But the city might be a fucking bunch of liberals, but outside of the city, oh my god, like where I was at up in Syracuse and stuff like that, fucking Trump signs everywhere. There was one guy, he had on his mailbox had girls, guns, and bigger guns and girls, and had literally shotgun shells dangling from the said, I dare you to come and get it.
First of all, I can watch it on my Facebook in person.
So, I mean, New York, unfortunately, is a liberal state because of the big cities. But there are a lot of conservatives out there that get overshadowed because of the numbers that are in the cities that are, of course, Mandani fans that want everyone everything handed to them and everything to be given to them for free, and they don't have to work and everything.
There we go.
I mean, honestly, let's just go back to what Josh was saying. It's like after a New York win, you got a Spurs person walking down the street getting jumped by New York Knicks fans. I mean, obviously, the funny thing is, like, and to put race into this, you just look at it yourself, look at the videos. It's horrific. It's horrible and pathetic, honestly, at the same time. So it's just like, it's bullshit. Really. Did it happen in San Antonio? Not at all. But did it happen in New York? Multiple times. They were beating the shit out of each other. Stupid if you're wearing a different situation, like jersey. What would it matter, honestly? It's messed up. It really is.
You guys are so
Yeah, you
cool.
guys can do it.
You guys turn if you want to respond.
So here's a perfect example of how disgusting this stuff is. That's literally an elderly Spurs fan being harassed by New York Knicks fans.
Said, dude, I had an extra.
Now, is that AI or is that true?
Yeah, I don't know. Here. This one looks real. We'll see. That's the problem. Unfortunately, you never know. So
And look, I pulled this map. Can you guys see my screen?
yeah.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
So you
Why are
notice
looking at donkey?
most of the country is red. And you got New York over here. You can see the northern part of New York, red. Most of the country, rural areas, less populated areas are mostly red.
Yeah.
But then when you get to Matt's point, your point, Joe, when you get to the bigger cities, like a New York City, like a Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, LA, San Francisco, Oakland.
Because again,
They're
all
blue.
the liberals that want everything handed to them, they don't want to work for anything. They want it me, give. They all congregate together.
Yeah, so I mean, rural America, where Syracuse, yeah, it is probably more pro-Trump up there compared to the city, but it's blue because how many people actually live in the city? There's more people that live in the city than the rest of the thing. That's why when we talk about the elections, the presidential elections, electoral college, there's a reason why. Because if you look at most of the population's in New York and LA, right? That's two of the highest. Are we really going to have two cities really dictate the election? I was like, that's not fair for somebody that's in rural Ohio or in the middle of the country, because their policies are completely, their worlds are two different worlds. So, but yeah, no, great series finals. The Knicks won 4-1. They're the NBA champions. They're actually not the favorites to win the championship next year. There's 3 other teams ahead of them now. The Spurs, the Thunder, and then the Celtics are the favorites for next year. And the Knickerbockers are fourth. AK, why my name's the Knickerbocker today?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So
Sponsor the Knicks, sponsor Knicks, and sponsor the low rise. There you go.
So also big in the news, we should.
And so now we can't go at all, and I'm pushing. And then we're trying to help you push. Don't reach over me, sir.
We always lose Josh the fiber guy. You know, the guy who hooks us up with the internet. There he is.
No, internet
I
guy
don't know
always
what
seems to have
happened.
issues.
The recording just stopped.
Somebody in the
Internet guy always seems to have issues.
Oh.
else with no sense of time
So,
or distance.
on a good note, we should, don't quote me on this, but should start to see gas prices start to drop.
No, why? Why is gas
Well,
prices going to go down?
The reason is because Iran and the United States have finally come to a deal. So Iran was originally pushing for the United States to pay over $400 billion in war damages. The United States said, no, we're not going to pay that. They said, no, we're not going to do that.
No.
So instead, as long as Iran follows certain rules and expectations, they are going to receive a upwards amount of $300 billion, not from the United States, but from other Middle Eastern countries around the region. So we're not paying them back shit.
So hold on. So I'm hearing other things with that. So is that actually true? Because I did hear we're getting a lot of it. I know we're going to release the funds.
We're releasing the funds.
Held. And I think we're going to release like $20 billion that.
So we're going to release the funds that were held. Okay. But the framework says the halt the U.S. Blockade of Iran and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Let's see. There will be a new fund for private investment vehicle to not a reconstruction or reparations program. Let's see here. Many of the companies based in the United States, the Gulf Arab states, Asia will be have agreed to commit to the financing. So there is going to be some funding that comes from the United States, but we're not fitting the entire bill. Like I said, they originally wanted $400 billion for war damages from the United States. Washington came back and said, we will not be providing that. Instead, some of the regional countries will be contributing in various ways, such as loan securing, establishing credit lines, or financing the reconstruction of sites damaged in the war. One of, let's see. Make sure I get everything here. So, Iran could gain access to $300 billion in reconstruction funds that will be backed by the Gulf states if it complies with an agreement with Washington, including dismantling its nuclear program, eliminating its stockpile of enriched material, and accepting a strengthened inspection and enforcement regime. And right now, there's a 60-day memorandum in the framework, not a final agreement. So they're still in negotiations. However, Washington, so us, the United States, has been strict and firm on their expectations of the nuclear program being dismantled, the stockpile of enrichment material going away, and then increasing the inspection enforcement on Iran to ensure they don't develop a program. So other things are being negotiated, but those things are staying firm.
So the funny thing is, supposedly Trump left UFC that night at 3 a.m. in the morning and flew all the way to Iran to sign this peace agreement.
No, I think they're supposed to go to what Switzerland.
Yeah, they usually
I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, they usually don't hold the agreement at the country that they.
Yeah.
So I think it was Switzerland or somewhere around there, but you're right, Matt. He left immediately to go to sign with the agreements and everything.
This guy just celebrated his 80th birthday watching a UFC fight on the South Lawn and decided to leave our country to go sign a peace agreement across seas. I mean, can he sleep in Air Force One? He probably could. But he's still 80 years old to celebrate his birthday and just went across seas. I mean, it's Flag Day. It's Flag Day, for God's sakes.
So are you saying that the President of the United States did his job? Where other presidents would have been on vacation?
Or mayors.
Yeah, that's true, too. Well, they probably would have been cleared to fly.
That's so sad. It's so sad, but it's so great.
Well, again, like, it's just
What's
funny.
so sad and so great?
They continue to talk shit. And you have people that still come out and say, "Oh, we'd be so much better with Kamala Harris," and it's like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Well, at least Kamala Harris is a true woman.
I mean,
you basically ask all the LA fucking people about that shit who's in office.
that's true. She did fuck around to find
San
out.
Francisco. She was up there. I don't think she was in LA.
What was it, Josh?
You know what?
I think up in San Francisco. She wasn't in
No,
LA.
whatever. It's over in California.
Well,
Anyway, just-
what's funny is, Matt, it's a good thing you mentioned Los Angeles, because did you guys see that they are finding ballots for Spencer Pratt in the garbage around Los Angeles?
Makes me that time to like.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So
Did you see some of the? Did you see some of the? Hold on. Did you also see some of the vote? Go ahead.
Found 650 ballots in a dumpster that were all for him.
Not surprised, are we?
Nope. That's convenient as fuck, isn't it?
I mean, it took 4 days for the other Democrat to fucking come up with write-in ballots to win her side of the election. So now she gets to run. Romney. It's disgusting. It really is.
I mean,
So-
honestly, it's going to be hilarious for Los Angeles because they're already a fucking shit show. And no matter who wins out of the two candidates that are going right now, I mean, that city's fucked.
Did you see what the federal government just did?
Huh?
Did you see what the federal government just did?
No, what?
They just pulled their $1 billion fund for the homeless stuff in LA away from them. Upon scandals going forward. So the federal pulled their $1 billion fund from them. So see how they handle this. You got another 4 years for these idiots? Good luck. And they're supposed to host the Olympics this year?
I mean,
Is that correct?
I mean, that's gonna be the interesting thing is how with the Olympics, you got the World Cup, the Olympics.
I would laugh if the Olympic Committee actually said, you know what, we changed our mind, we'll go somewhere else.
I mean, Trump threatened pulling from LA.
That would be awesome. If Trump could pull any fucking strings, pull all the funding from fucking LA, let fucking stuff for the way it is. It's embarrassing. But it's still good. But it's still good in America, so he's not American.
But for those fucking idiots to be wanting to pull, get rid of police officers, get more social workers, like, I just don't understand people's logic. Like, do
No.
they not understand that you are not going to successfully deal with a criminal by some fucking social worker coming in and saying, "How are you feeling?"
Well, then she must have thought that.
Well, that's the problem is they don't want to arrest him because every fucking goddamn court turn point judge will fucking let him off with arrest him.
Oh, no.
So they don't want to go.
Oh no, they'll let you off the hook if you are a certain race or religion. I'll tell you that right now. But the perfect example, like I just called out the Ohio Department of Education on their bullshit, and I straight up told them, I was like, the only fucking reason we're having this conversation is because I'm not a black male. And I told him, I was like, you know, it's funny. I was like, you have records that show that you literally gave a teacher, a black male teacher that was convicted of assault on his students, a 6-month suspension. You had another teacher that was convicted of vehicular manslaughter that only got a letter of reprimand. So that's the problem, is we live in a world right now where if you're white, they fucking come after you. And it drives me crazy. Like, here's the thing. Everyone should be treated equal. Same standard, same expectation, no matter what the color of your skin is. I don't know why that's got to be a fucking discussion. Everybody muted themselves, apparently.
My bad.
My bad. I said you broke up a fight between two black young men inside your school. You get fired for that. And the black teacher.
That's the funny thing. Didn't get fired. No criminal charges because I didn't do anything illegal. Nobody was injured. Here's the thing. I even reached out to the Cincinnati Police Department to see if there was any kind of police record or anything like that. Nope. You know why? Because I didn't do anything illegal. But the Ohio Department of Education wants to put my head on a fucking pike and take my license forever. But they'll let teachers that are convicted felons, that are convicted of assault and everything else, keep their license. I was like, oh, and on top of that, I sent emails to the Ohio State representative, the Ohio State senator, the federal senator for our district, the House representative for our district. I sent email to Governor DeWine, to Lieutenant Governor Tressel. I sent it to the Attorney General, and guess what they all say?
Fuck off.
Nope, not my department. It's somebody else's. It's amazing how all the fucking individuals in charge of the state, it's somebody else's department.
There, and he's lucky that I didn't.
Explain that to me.
Can't. It's not my department.
Right. You know who I need to call, Matt? Is your buddy over at the one Kroger store. I bet it's his department.
Yeah, it's his month.
It is his fucking month.
Josh, any comments?
Me and the groundhog get one fucking day.
I got nothing.
Josh gets a month.
Hey, Matt, we celebrate that month together, baby.
Do we?
I can't see you.
Yeah, we're not with mine. We have fun.
Yeah, we do. How you doing?
How you doing? Bring me down. I bring you down.
Josh, you might be a little happier if you celebrate with us. Or Joe.
I know.
Hard.
I mean, Brian's not involved no more, so.
Brian did ask me to go.
Josh doesn't talk about his BFF anymore now that guy owns half of Delhi.
Not anymore.
You should always know what's on your bed before you jump on it, and don't.
Yeah, he's been staying on the down low lately. He's finally starting to go out more now.
You would know. You're his best friend.
Any final comments before we end the show, guys?
No, I'm good pretty much, dude.
All right. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Idiocracy Talk Radio. I'm Dr. B. We got Matt. We got Josh, a.k.a. Knickerbockers. The guy who changed his name like everybody else changes their underwear. At least one day.
Bye, Paige.
Hi.
Hi, Paige.
Hi, Big Joe.
Tune in next week for another crazy episode of Idiocracy Talk Radio.
Idiocracy Talk Radio. We might just make a special for Thursday.
It's idiocracy, but you gon' see the value and respect though when you talk with me. So come on, baby, walk with me. It ain't a topic that the crew can't touch. Share our views and our vibe. What we hide, it ain't much. This ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Share our thoughts and our views, you can't stop it. Said this ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Idiocracy, tell us what's the topic, yeah.
Oh, I have, you want to see? I got a thing today.